Dear Governor DeSantis and Florida State Representatives, please consider the compassionate release of nonviolent and non-sex offender incarcerated citizens during this global health crisis. As a survivor of sexual trauma and domestic violence, this is where I suggest you draw the line. I was formerly incarcerated at Lowell CI. This makes me well aware that social distancing is not even remotely possible in an overcrowded open bay prison setting. The beds in these open bay dorms are not even 6 feet apart. This makes many Florida prisons a death trap. Many incarcerated individuals do have family and friends that would be willing to shelter them during this global pandemic. How we treat the most vulnerable, disenfranchised, and demonized members of our society during this humanitarian crisis will reflect on our society as a whole in the years to come. Incarcerated individuals can be granted compassion and mercy and released under state supervision. COVID-19 should not be a death sentence to Florida prisoners. 16 states have already decided to take forward-thinking measures and release nonviolent prisoners on the state level. Releasing those convicted of nonviolent crimes from our overcrowded prisons and jails would decrease the likelihood of the virus spreading within the remaining prison and jail populations. It would be smart from your position of authority to provide all prisoners and access to face masks, hand sanitizer, and soap during this global pandemic. Remember, they are not merely prisoners, they are mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, girlfriends and boyfriends, sisters and brothers, and daughters and sons. These incarcerated citizens have people who love them and depend on their safe return. If something is not done, their blood will be on your hands for not exercising your power to show mercy during this humanitarian crisis. I beseech you to consider the compassionate release of our incarcerated brothers and sisters during this global pandemic. This request is merciful, ethical, rational, moderate, and reasonable during this unprecedented public health crisis. No prisoner should be sentenced to death due to the state of Florida's negligence to look at scientific facts. Not to mention, many of those in jail have not even been found guilty. They're being held in jail for the inability to pay bail. It is ludicrous for people to have to die for the crime of being poor. Compassionate release can be done on a case-by-case basis by the county jail and Department of Correction classification officers. It is in your hands to give these human beings a second chance at life. The death toll is predicted to be massive if you do not take preventative measures. Sincerely, Nicole Spear, G17897.